Across Africa and parts of Asia, leopards roam through a variety of habitats, from dense jungles and rugged mountains to open savannas and agricultural lands. In countries like Kenya, India, and South Africa, their territories often overlap with human settlements, leading to serious conflicts. These stealthy predators can prey on livestock such as goats, sheep, and calves, causing significant financial losses for farmers. In some cases, they even have dangerous encounters with humans, instilling fear in rural communities. The combination of economic damage and threats to human safety makes leopards a formidable challenge. So, how do people living in these areas protect themselves and their livelihoods from such a cunning predator? Let's explore the answer together. The leopard is one of the most adaptable and elusive big cats in the world, renowned for its incredible stealth, powerful build, and striking rosette pattern coat. Adult males can weigh between 90 and 150 pounds, with a body length of 4.25 to 6.25 feet, not including the tail, which can add another 2.5 to 3.5 feet for balance during high-speed chases. Their ability to survive in diverse habitats from African savannas to rocky hillsides and dense forests makes them a challenging target for hunters. With a top speed of around 36 miles per hour and exceptional climbing skills, they can disappear into terrain in seconds, turning any hunt into a true test of skill and patience.
Shoot, shoot!
Hunting a leopard with a rifle is considered one of the most difficult endeavors in the world of big game hunting. Due to their elusive nature and primarily nocturnal habits, hunters often rely on baiting techniques, placing carcasses to lure the animal during late evening or early morning hours. Commonly used calibers include the .300 Winchester Magnum, .338 Winchester Magnum, or .375 HNH Magnum, as these rounds provide the penetration and stopping time needed for a precise, ethical kill. A well-placed shot to the heart-lung area, ideally taken from a steady rest, is essential, as wounded leopards are notorious for their aggression and may charge at close range. Preparation is the key before embarking on such a hunt. Hunters must ensure their rifles are sighted in at the correct distance, typically 100 to 200 yards for leopard hunting, and practice shooting from various positions, as shots may be required from a blind, a tree stand, or while seated on uneven terrain. Proper camouflage clothing, scent control measures, and quiet gear are critical, as leopards have acute hearing and an extraordinary sense of smell, able to detect human presence from hundreds of yards away. Many hunters also work with experienced local trackers, whose knowledge of leopard behavior and terrain can make the difference between success and a missed opportunity. Safety is of utmost importance when pursuing such a dangerous predator. A wounded leopard can close a distance of 50 yards in just a few seconds, inflicting fatal injuries with its powerful jaws and razor-sharp claws. For this reason, hunters are advised never to track a wounded leopard alone and to always be prepared for a close-range encounter. Using a reliable scope with strong low-light performance, keeping a backup shooter ready, and maintaining clear communication with trackers are essential steps to minimize risk. Hunters must also comply with all local wildlife laws and ensure they have the proper permits, as leopard hunting is strictly regulated in most regions to ensure conservation. Ultimately, hunting a leopard is not only about marksmanship, it is a mental and physical challenge that demands patience, preparation, and respect for the animal. Every successful hunt is the result of countless hours of planning, scouting, and waiting, often in harsh and uncomfortable conditions.
Dead? I think so.
Reload. Okay. Well done, Glenn. I was like, there's no way that shot.
Those who have faced the leopard in its own territory know that the reward lies not only in the trophy but in the mastery of the hunt itself, a rare encounter with one of nature's most cunning predators. Would you have the skill and courage to take on such a challenge? If you enjoyed this journey into the wild, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more incredible hunting adventures. Wildlife crises in the southern plains of Kenya are nothing new. A pride of 8 lions repeatedly attacked livestock during the night, leaving cow carcasses strewn in the bushes the next morning. Locals, helpless and angry, sent a distress call to wildlife control. And then a professional hunting team was called in, not for sport, but to deal with a real, invasive threat. Lions had crossed their natural boundaries and invaded human life.
Whoa!
The Land Cruiser shuddered as the front wheels rolled over a hard mound of dirt. Ahead was a patch of low, scattered brush, where the largest male lion in the pride had been caught on an infrared camera 2 nights ago, dragging a killed donkey back to his hideout. The headwind was picking up the stench. The hunter lowered the window and quietly raised the barrel of his rifle, the scope vibrating as he adjusted his breathing. Suddenly, a roar sounded off to the left, followed by a yellow silhouette leaping out of the brush. The .375 HNH Magnum went off, but not in the direction he had intended. African nature is characterized by aridity, lacking dense green forests. Instead, there are open lands, sparse trees, and the air is always hot and dry. For hunters, this condition is both an advantage and a challenge. Wide vision helps them easily observe and track prey from a distance, but at the same time makes it more difficult to approach the target due to the lack of hiding places, which pose many dangers. In that context, lions know how to take advantage of low bushes scattered on the grasslands to hide, silently monitor and stalk prey with incredible patience and precision. After walking in the forest for about an hour, a male lion stood before us. At that moment, I knew that it would never have the chance to enter the hunting village again.
Very old line. Good job, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Less than an hour later, as the harsh midday sun beat down, the hunters, walking from the indigenous village into the forest, spotted a lioness hidden behind a low clump of trees. Returning to their vehicle, they loaded their rifles and headed towards the lion. A seasoned hunter with extensive experience in hunting wild animals was tasked with taking down the target. He placed his gun on a rack, 50 meters from the lion, and surrounded by trees and grass that limited visibility. Yet, the hunter took down the huge lion with just one shot.
Very well done.
But the trouble was only just beginning. When a lioness discovered her brethren had been killed, she did not run away but charged madly. Before the support force could react, she had jumped over the logistics truck. A sniper shot from the vehicle's turret missed, only tearing its shoulder. The chase began. The vehicle turned around as if it was being chased by a ghost, accelerating in the direction the beast was charging. The encroachment had pushed the lions into a dead end, forcing them to stop avoiding and actively attack humans. They were no longer proud big cats, but ghosts in the village.
Shot.
Wait, finish.
The sunset dyed the acacia trees red as the hunting party set up camp within the electric fence. The distant roar was not unusual in Africa, but this time it was closer than expected. A male lion was wandering close to the campsite, drawn by the lights and scent of humans. Instead of running away, one of the team members ventured out with a headlamp and gun. Catching the lion's eye in the pale yellow light, he pulled the trigger. A streak of fire appeared. The lion fell to its knees, writhed, and lay still. They had to act before they were attacked again. Do you think this is an effective way to control the king of the jungle? Leave your comments, and if you have any questions or have more effective lion control methods, please leave them in the comments section so we can learn more. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to support us. Early the next morning, a report from a village 5 kilometers away said that a skinny lion was wandering around a cattle ranch. Without hesitation, the hunting party split into 2 groups. In a sheltered spot where a wildebeest had been killed the day before, they set a trap for an old goat, a live bait. After 30 tense minutes, heavy footsteps clattered on gravel. The lion appeared. It smelled the bait, and then, the trap sprang. The steel clamp snapped shut on its hind legs. A shot from behind quickly ended the invader's life. The border between Savo Park and the agricultural area was marked red on maps after a series of lion attacks on livestock. A goat farmer once witnessed a lion attack a herd of goats. He was so frightened that he had to hunt the animals immediately, leaving the pasture bare under the blazing sun. A professional hunting team was sent out early in the morning, armed with large rifles and all-terrain vehicles. They followed the clear footprints on the dry land, sticking close to the bushes where the lions often lie. The sun shone directly into the barrel of the gun as the oldest gunman raised his rifle and aimed at a bush that had just moved. The chase began, in broad daylight, in a land where lions and humans were fighting for every inch. The already harsh lives of African farmers are made even more stressful by the unpredictable intrusions of these predators. Each hunt is not only an act of protection, but also a warning message about the increasingly fragile boundaries between wild nature and human territory. Lions are symbols of the African wild, creatures that need to be protected within their natural range. But when they cross the boundary, attack people, and destroy livestock, they are no longer the rulers of the grasslands. They are real threats. Hunts like these are not about showing off, but about restoring order, preserving life for both worlds, human and natural. And every gunshot in the bush is a bell for the difficult future of coexistence between humans and wild animals. Wild donkeys have long since crossed their original ecological boundaries, becoming a serious threat in many semi-desert and arid steppe regions. With their rapid reproduction and high adaptability, they not only compete fiercely with native livestock for water and food, but also destroy natural vegetation, causing soil erosion and imbalance in the native ecosystem. In particular, many herds of wild donkeys roam uncontrolled and often spill onto the roads, obstructing traffic and even leading to serious accidents for local people. Given the damage to the environment, agriculture, and traffic safety, hunting wild donkeys with guns has become a necessary measure to control the population, reduce ecological pressure, and protect people's livelihoods. hunting ground was in a semi-arid area of Namibia's central highlands, where donkey herds often move south during the changing seasons in search of new food. Coming to a large, open area with scorched grass, we found traces of fresh dung, indicating that the herd had recently passed through. I had brought my Winchester Model 70, 308 Win, a highly accurate rifle, well suited to long-range shooting at moving targets. A donkey was foraging alone. To avoid being detected, I lay face down on the ground, placing the rifle in front of me. Pointing the muzzle straight at the donkey's chest, a shot rang out, shattering the silence of the forest. I had conquered it. A few hundred yards further in, we began to hear the faint sound of hooves hitting the ground, very faint but insistent. On a gentle rise, I knelt down and trained my scope on the sound. And then there they were, a herd of about 8 wild donkeys, nibbling on some low brush on the edge of the mountainside. One of the herd was a large, sturdy animal, with dark gray fur and erect ears that flapped like antennae. It was the leader, usually the one to move ahead and react first when it sensed danger. I decided to stick close to its path, because if the leader fell, the entire herd would panic and split apart. I adjusted my aim, took a deep breath, and pulled the trigger. The shot rang out dry, followed by a chilling silence. The donkey was hit just behind the shoulder, staggered a few steps, and collapsed. The herd immediately scattered, running in all directions, leaving a trail of dust in its wake. One of the other shooters fired again, taking down another donkey as it veered away from the mound. Do you think this is an effective way to control the encroaching wild donkeys? Leave your thoughts in the comments below so we can hear from you. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more exciting content. In the days that followed, we continued south, through rocky terrain and sun-scorched grasslands. Wild donkeys travel in packs and are good at hiding in arid environments, but that makes them dangerous when the packs grow unchecked. In some areas, wild donkeys have been reported to encroach on native Serow habitat, reducing the survival of many rare native species.
Yeah, see him. Far, Will.
Marky's just out. It's gonna go to. Take your time.
Miss.
Maybe we should take these two to start. Good shot. Yeah, that's fatal. Right in the heart.
The African sun poured down on the dry savanna, where a herd of wild donkeys grazed silently among the sparse thorn bushes. The hunter hid in the dense acacia bushes, holding his rifle tightly in his hand, his eyes following the leader with his large stature and high-eared perch. A light wind blew by, stirring up dust, obscuring the hunter's slow movements as he approached the ideal shooting spot.
That's the donkey. Hit the donkey.
Only about 60 meters away, he stopped, held his breath, and put his hand on the trigger. A loud bang rang out, and the donkeys scattered in panic in the dust. The leader, hit by the bullet, staggered a few steps and fell, its forehooves kicking up amid angry and wild screams. The scene was both fierce and depicted the harshness of life in a land where humans and nature are always in an uncompromising confrontation. Two wild donkeys stood in the middle of a scorched grassland, quietly chewing dry leaves under the harsh African desert sun. A gentle wind slanted along the slope, which was favorable for not carrying the scent of humans. The two donkeys moved side by side, each step cautiously, but they clearly did not sense the lurking danger. I adjusted my sights, aiming at the larger one, which seemed to be the leader. The gunshot rang out, tearing the quiet air. It collapsed immediately, its legs twitching in the dust. The remaining donkey panicked and turned to run, but only managed to run a few dozen meters before the second bullet hit its shoulder, causing it to collapse with a long, terrified neigh. The ambush took place in just a few dozen seconds, fast, clean, and decisive. As the sun set behind the red hills, the hunt ended in silence and dust lingered on the cracked ground. Although it was only a short hunt, it clearly showed the severity of the invasion by wild donkeys. They not only destroyed crops and competed with livestock for water, but also severely degraded the local ecosystem. Using rifles to control the population is not simply an act of hunting, but part of an effort to protect the land and the ecological balance. However, donkeys are not dangerous animals, so hunting must be strictly controlled to not affect the natural ecosystem.